Well, this morning, as we well know, the calendar says summertime, but the countdown is indeed on for the first day of school all across the St. Louis area.
Yeah, and if you've been trying to make an appointment, it's really tough right now because local doctors say now's the time to get your child's required vaccines. Diamond's here to just break this all down for us. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, I know. You have a young one as well, so.
I know, and this year was the first year I was like, oh, he doesn't need vaccines.
Okay,
so,
that's good.
Yeah, but can you remind people what age kids start needing to
Good
get
question.
the shots?
It's good for you, right? And also good for JJ, who's just like, no shots for me.
Yeah, exactly.
So typically children that are aged kindergarten through 12th grade are required to get several vaccinations before returning to school in less than 2 weeks. School districts in Missouri and Illinois have the requirements in place based on state and federal recommendations. Now take a look at this. A pediatrician with SSM Health, Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital, says several vaccines like measles, rubella, vaccines like MMR, varicella are all needed for students. Vaccinations for polio and hepatitis B are also required for students in kindergarten through 12th grade, and even vaccines like DTaP are required, which protects children from diphtheria and other diseases that can cause, of course, whooping cough. So a long list there. In some cases, like Michelle, you won't have to because you're already up to date, but for those children that are not up to date, it's sad news for them. It's going to be a couple of shots in the arm.
Give us your arm, right.
Exactly. Yeah, I still have the dot on my arm from vaccines back as a child. So when it comes to COVID-19 and the flu, what are the recommendations from doctors?
Yeah, good question. Of course, as parents with little ones, that's, the main kind of concern, heading into the fall. With something like that, seasonal vaccines, like the flu, for instance, they become available usually around September, which is optional, of course, for students and families. It's always recommended, but optional. The COVID-19 shot is also not mandatory for students, but doctors in the region are, of course, monitoring the circulation of flu and COVID ahead of the fall, because that's usually when students come into contact with those illnesses. They're around all of those children, so it's something doctors are looking into. Also something to take note of, SSM Health pediatricians there are recommending, of course, like Michelle said, getting in early. That's what they really want to hone in, and not waiting until a later date, because most pediatricians are booking out in advance. She says that's also a great time to ask questions with your doctor about specific needs for your students that they might need, of course, returning to the books. Each child, of course, is different. There are religious exemptions that are allowed in Missouri and Illinois. That's the good news. But parents must complete the proper paperwork for that to happen for their children. So some good news there, but of course,
It's bad news for the children, good news for the parents, right?
Yeah, I know. And you don't want to sleep on it, because that's the thing. Like last year, I kind of forgot about the flu shot, and I always try to do flu before boo, like flu before Halloween, and I missed it, and I was like, oh my gosh, and then couldn't get into my pediatrician. My pediatrician was like, we don't have the flu shot anymore, and then had to go to try to call like every pharmacy.
That's the risk you run. Get ahead of it, get there early, and make sure your child is vaccinated.
Good information.
It's also pretty important for parents maybe to get a flu shot as well.
Yeah.
Considering the fact the kids are going to go back to school, they'll be around other kids, bring something home, next thing you know, the entire family is sick.
Right.
Happens all the time.
All the time.
Yes, it does. Thank you. Okay.